Flosstube, it's Lindsay and welcome back to Blushing Pink Stitches. Today is Friday the 30th of August and this is Flosstube number 51. It's been a few weeks since my last video, but we've been off on summer holidays, so you guys know that the school holidays are not really much of a good time for me to film a video. We're just busy all of the time basically. And I don't necessarily want to take away from that family or relaxation time. So yeah, but I'm back today. Stefan has taken Bella swimming this morning. Usually, because she does go to a swimming school called Water Babies every Friday during term time. But of course it's been closed over the summer holidays and I wanted to keep up with her swimming just because last summer she had we had the summer off, and then when she came back in September I kind of felt like she'd gone backwards quite a bit, and I felt like it took the whole of last year to recover. So I wanted to take her swimming over the summer holidays just to keep her hand in basically. But I couldn't go today because I had a new tattoo done on the top of my spine on Tuesday, and yeah, you're not supposed to go in a swimming pool or have a bath for a couple of weeks. So Stefan's taken her swimming this morning, so I thought that this was the ideal opportunity for me to sit down and film a video. So I have got lots to share with you today. I've got a couple of finishes. I'm going to be announcing the winner of the project bag giveaway. I've got some sewing to show with you, so I made a couple of my own project bags and a couple of other sort of pouches that I'm using for my cross stitch bits, so I will share that with you. And then I also have a load of WIPs. I felt like I haven't been stitching as much in the summer holidays. Like last summer holidays and the one before was quite prolific for me, I felt, in terms of stitching. I got a lot done. This summer holiday I've really got back into my reading again, so I have been dedicating some of my free time to reading, which has been so lovely. And I've wanted to be a bit more monogamous on projects, so I haven't been so worried about, you know, oh, I'll work for 2 days in this and then get on to the next thing. Like I've just been, oh okay, so maybe I'll just work on this until it's finished, or yeah, just maybe a bit more mindful. I don't really know how to phrase it, but anyway, that's been the case. I still feel like I've done a lot of stitching, but maybe not as much as last summer. But anyway, let's just get into it. So I'm going to start with my couple of finishes. The first finish that I had, oh actually yeah, let's show them to you in order. Lives in this project bag that I bought from Jess Gets Stitching, and now I have to assign it to something else. And this is the Touch of Magic stitch along by Caterpillar Cross Stitch. It was their Halloween stitch along, I think 2 years ago now, and I managed to finish the last section in July. It was in July, wasn't it, or was it in August? Yes, it was at the end of July. So this is it. So this is stitched, I bought a kit from Caterpillar Cross Stitch. So this is stitched on the kit fabric with a kit floss. The kit fabric is I think this is a 16 count light grey Ada, and it's all DMC floss. And this is done. So the last section was Ghoulish Ghost, the broomstick, and then fly broomsticks, and then all of the little bits like the bat and the star, these two bits here, and this little sort of like bit of magic. So yeah, this is all done now. So I bought a piece of backing fabric when I went to the Festival of Quilts with my friend Becky. I think it might have been the 1st of August. I bought a piece of purple sparkly fabric. I don't have it to hand at the moment because I'm going to turn this into a wall hanging, and so I wanted to get a piece of fabric to go on the back and then potentially down the sides. But yeah, I'm really happy with it. So that's what it looks like in its entirety. One of the things I've realised about myself as a stitcher is that I don't particularly like stitching words. Some of the time I do, but it's not my favourite thing to stitch. So yeah, that's something for me to bear in mind when I'm picking out projects. But yeah, I'm really, really pleased with that. And that is another WIP off of my WIP hit list. So I'm going to just bring this out a bit so I can put things on it. Yeah, it's another one off of my WIP hit list. And talking about WIP hit list, I also finished in August the Star Hunters by Soda Stitch. And this is it. Let's just fold it in half because maybe it'd be better for you to see. Yeah, so that is finished. So just give you a bit of a close-up. So I had quite a bit of this left to go, and I was thinking that this would maybe be 2 or 3 stitching sessions. But so I finished the girl and I'd back stitched all of that, and I just had the boy's hair. So his hats, his face, all of his body, and then all of these stars around the outside and all of the back stitch. And they are done. They are so cute. I love Soda Stitch patterns. I will definitely be doing more because I just love how cute and whimsical they are. And I love how she does the back stitch as well. It's not all connected and that looks really good. So this is stitched on a piece of 25 count pink splash even weave from Zweigart. And I stitched it over 2 using CXE threads. So yeah, I think the thing that I will say about the CXC threads is that they were absolutely fine for this pattern, except for the blue shading that you have. There were 2 colours that were very, very similar. Let's see if I can find what they were. So this is the palette. So you had this blue here that was 322. And then you had, was it this? I think it was this one. This blue here that was 3755. And you can see there is a difference between the 2, but it's not like really obvious. So I think if I chose to stitch this again in CXC, I'd just have a little look at whether there was like a lighter blue than this one perhaps, so that you could see a little bit more of the shading difference when it came to the blue bits of the pattern. But I'm still really pleased with it. I don't think I don't think there's anything wrong with it at all. And they're super cute. So what I have done is picked out, I had in my sort of like frame drawer, this big hoop. Is it 10 inch? I think it might be a 10-inch hoop. And I'm going to put that in there. You can sort of see how it'll go. And then back it with some felt or something like that. And then that will go up in Bella's room. So the other thing I was going to say about the thread is that you can see that I've got lots left. So I bought a skein of every colour. And I've got a few in here where because I started bobbinating the threads and then I moved over to floss drops. So I think if you had a master set of threads, you could totally stitch this pattern out of there. I think the one I use the most of is like some of the skin colours. So this is 948. That's maybe like a third of a skein left. Yeah, so a couple of the skin colours, maybe this one here. What colour is this? 754. There's maybe half a skein there. But yeah, so you could totally stitch this out of a master set. So that is that. I'm going to put all of this over there. I can put that away now. So let's go through some WIPs, right? I'm not going to be doing these in any sort of order. I'm just going to be picking off of the pile I've got next to me. Starting with a couple of full coverages that I worked on. So this is, oh, I didn't bring my tablet in. Oh, I think I might have it on my Instagram anyway. Yeah, I'll just look it up on my Instagram. Let's just open that now. Although I don't think I've posted about this. Right, pause for a second. Okay, so I'm back. So, as I was saying, this is Quick Stitch Tranquil Tulip. The artwork is by Hannah Disney and it's charted by Heaven and Earth Designs. And this is the full coverage that I'm working on for a finish at the end of the year. It's stitched on 25 count even weave, and I do all of my full coverages 1/1 full cross, and all of my full coverages are also on 25 count. Yeah. But this is with AMO threads. And I'm going to put a picture up on the screen of the last time that you saw it. So I worked on it at the beginning of July, and I also worked on it in August. In August I got 2,038 stitches, and we're now at 68.54%. So that's what it's looking like now. God, is that like really... Does it maybe just look like it's from here? It looks like it's really like a diagonal, like, yeah, but anyway, it doesn't matter. When I get Serena and Robert to frame it, they'll sort that out. Yeah, so basically I started working on the top of this page over here, and there is a little bit of a like partial page here, but I just decided I was going to go all the way across, because I didn't want to have to come back and do that partial page afterwards. It just didn't make sense to me. So we can see the butterfly really coming in, the tops of the butterfly's wings. And then there's all that yellow background. So yeah, it's looking really, really fabulous. So we've got 3 more months of working on that. So at the moment I've done 16,357 stitches out of 23,865, so 18 September, October, no, yeah, that should be done in December. Well, I should say 4 more months, sorry, 4 more months of stitching on that. Where have I put the thing? Yeah. Okay, so another full coverage that I worked on at the end of July. The Cross Stitch Studio were doing like a work on a WIP this weekend, and I didn't end up posting about it on the event, but it inspired me to pick up Tulip Egg. This is by the Cross Stitch Studio. I can't remember who the artwork is by. I've got it written down somewhere. I have to write that on the back of here for next time. I'm stitching this 25 count 1/1 full cross with DMC threads, and in July I stitched 1,358 stitches, and I'm at 3.23%. So I'm going to put a picture up on the screen of where it was the last time that you saw it. This is like a light pink piece of 25 count, and this is where it's at now. So we started to get a lot more detail in the yellow tulip, and then a lot more detail in that reddy pinky tulip next to it. So yeah. This is another like smallish one. It's just over 100,000 stitches, so it's not going to take forever to do. But yeah, that's where we got to with that. I'm stitching this one with Siske. And talking of her, she started up her own Flosstube channel. I will leave a link to it down below. She started off with a WIP parade, and she's got like 200 projects. So the WIP parade is 4 parts long. It's glorious to watch. Use a string on my skirt. And she's just a delight. And she then also posted her first like normal Flosstube, as it were, and talked about her rotation and her plans and things like that. And yeah, it was really good to watch. So I'll leave a link to her down below. Okay, so moving on from there, this is another one on my WIP hit list. This is Kids Alphabet Sampler by Eccentric Avenue on Etsy. And I restarted this. Originally I was doing this all together, but I decided I didn't want to do that in the end, and my original plan was to stitch ABC and put them up in like Bella's playroom or something, and then the lovely Debbie, one of my subscribers and somebody that I talked to on Instagram, suggested, well, why don't you do the letters of Bella's name? It will take you a bit longer, but that's it. And I thought that was an absolutely fabulous idea. So that is what I have done. So I restarted it on a piece of 25 count pink even weave. I think this is the same that I've done. Yeah, the Quick Stitch Tranquil Tulip. No, Tulip Egg on. But this is over 2, and I changed all of the colours. So I just picked things out of my DMC master set that I liked in terms of like pinks and purples and like pale pastel colours that I think would go really well in either her room or in her playroom, and that she would really like. So yeah, I completed the first letter of her name. These are really quick to do, like a couple of days of stitching. So my plan is to do 1 a month until they're finished at the end of the year. So yeah, thank you very much, Debbie, for that genius idea. Yeah. And I'm unsure at the moment whether to do it in hoops or whether to do some bunting with her, like to make some bunting out of it. I don't know, I'll work that out afterwards. Another one on my WIP hit list, I'm really focused on getting those done at the moment, is the Animal House. This was a stitch along a couple of years ago by Satsuma Street, so I just put a picture up on the screen of the completed projects, and I got section 4 done. So this is stitched on a piece of 28 count raw natural linen, and yeah, this is what it's looking like. So I stitched this section here. And you can see the sloth upside down and the kangaroo with the joey, and then obviously you've got some more of the structure of the house in there as well. I do love the really bright colours in this one. I think it's just stunning. Yeah, and I have enjoyed stitching this. It doesn't take very long to do a section of it, maybe 2 or 3 days. So I've got 2 sections left to complete that. So yeah, over the next, so we've got 4 months left of the year. At some point I will pull that out a couple more times and stitch on it. Okay, next one. Right, this is Fruits of Plenty by Modern Folk Embroidery. It was their 2021 stitch long. I have stitched this before, but I'm stitching it again for my mum. It's so I'll put a picture up of it on the screen. This is stitched on a piece of 32 count white linen, and I'm using DMC 3608 and 33. They were the colours that Mum picked out. And last time I filmed, yeah, so I, like a couple of days ago, finished stitching the next section. So I'm just trying to work out how to wrangle this fabric. So yeah, that, oh God, hold on, sticking to the bag. This is what he's looking like now. So it is so super stunning. The colours are just lovely together. And this was the block that I worked on for August section. So this is now 50% complete. We're halfway through. So this should be finished in February next year. Yeah. And she loves it. So yeah. So yeah. A section of that takes me about 5 days to do. Each block is probably about around 4,000 stitches, that they differ in stitch count. I'm stitching them using Markup RXP, and oh look, I've left that out. That one, yeah. And Markup doesn't always get the stitch count correct So when I've come to the end of the block, it's still saying I've got stitches left, and I'll just ignore that. Okay, this next one is a kit that I started in April, but I made like a really measly start on. And then my friend Megan messaged me and said, I've got the pattern for that. Do you want to stitch it together? And I said, yes. So this is Kingdom of Books. It's a kit by Adriana. You can buy this on mybobbin.com, and you can also buy it on, if you're in the UK, from Marie's Cross Stitch. So she does other Adriana patterns as well, or kits I should say. I'm not using the kit fabric. I copied Brenda from Handwork Maniac and got Megan to dye me a piece of fabric that looked a little bit like the colour of the shelf. But I am using the kit floss, and this is where we got to. Again, this is really hard to just fold it over like that. So when I originally started it, I only had like this like end of the shelf done, so I started in on the first book. And I tell you what, there are a lot of colour changes in there. So I think as you go down this bit of the book, it'll be less colour changes, but still there's a lot of shading and a lot of detail in there. So, and I'm just doing a little bit of the shadow of the shelf. I think I've done a bit too much up here, but I could always pull that out. Yeah, so that's where we're up to with that one. We don't have like, we're not doing like a section a month, or we're just kind of like casually stitching it together. So there's that. Okay, let's have a look. Oh no, I already showed you that. So that's not a WIP that I worked on. Okay, so I worked for a couple of days on Mermaids of the Seasons, and I think I was stitching on this when I filmed my last Flosstube video. So this was a stitch along from Bella Filipina. It started in September last year. I've stitched spring and I'm working on summer, but I am stitching them individually. So this is where we got to on summer. I've only got the beading to do. So yeah, all of the rest of the stitching is done. All of the Krynic is done. And I did start beading, like I've got some beads up here in this bit. I don't know whether there's any more to add. Well, I think that might be it done. Yeah, and then I sort of finished that bit off and it was quite late, and I thought, oh, I'm going to put it down, put it away for a while, and then put it out to work on the rest of the beading. She's gorgeous. Yeah. So that was another sort of case of where I was sort of working for a couple of days on her and really enjoying her, but thinking actually I could work more monogamously on her and get the beading done, but I had other things that I wanted to accomplish before the end of the month. So that was that. Worked on that at the end of July. I had one new start in July, towards the end of July. The wheel sort of picked out a new start, but I didn't really work that much on it because I think I'm not really in a new start kind of mood, although that, I mean, I do have plans to start a couple of things, so we'll see how that goes. But yeah, I haven't really been in a new start kind of mood. I've been in a, I want to work on my WIP hit list, I want to work on my goals. Yeah, but so I started this, but I didn't really get very far. So this is Autunno. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly. I think it's Italian for autumn. This is by Satsuma Street. She's got a series of these every season, and they use lots of variegated floss. So I'm stitching it on a piece of 28 count even weave over 2. And you can see the floss that I've used so far. This is the sort of colour palette so far. It's really pretty. And I've still got a thread hanging because I just wasn't in the mood to finish it off. So let's just, yeah, that's where we got to. So you can see that the border of the square is variegated. Some of the bits of this first mushroom are. The bit that I'm stitching at the moment is using a variegated thread. It's very pretty, but I just kind of wasn't in the mood. So it started, and I'm sure I'll get back to it at some point. You know, autumn is upon us, really, isn't it? End of summer now. My friend Alison commented when I put it on Instagram and said, oh, I've got that kitted up, and then she started it. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing how she gets on with hers as well. There's that. God, it's hot in here now. I think I just have one WIP left. Yeah, so I do. So this is the big one. I'm just going to check on August calendar, but I think I've showed you everything. Yeah. So this is, oh no, upside down, Supersize Max Colour, a stitching shelf. The artwork is by Amy Stewart and it's charted by Heaven and Earth Design. I started this 2 years ago this August, so this had its second birthday about a week and a half ago. Yeah, I think I started it on something like the 23rd of August a couple of years ago. Let's just have a look at my WIP list. Not that one. Let's have a little look. Oh, it was earlier than that. Oh, 15th of August. Oh, so it had its birthday in the middle of August. This is 25 count 1/1 full cross. And at the moment, so I use this, I've got a bit of a itchy nose, sorry. I use this for my Stitch the Medals challenge for the Olympics, and I managed to keep up with it. So that was really, really good. So I stitched a lot more on it during those like 2.5 weeks than I normally would have done. And I think when I posted on Instagram, I said I'd done an extra 4,900 stitches than I would have done, which is great. And then I've had a couple of days this month, towards the end of the month, where I've just worked on it monogamously. And I actually made the decision that I'm going to up my daily stitching count on this. Well, I already have started doing that. So you guys know that this was my 100 stitches a day project since I started it. And my friend Sue on Instagram commented on one of my posts on it and said, oh, how many pages have you got left to do the end of the shelf? And I said, oh, there's 10 pages left. You know, it's quite a lot sort of thing. However, and I have calculated this before, but I recalculated because, of course, the Stitch the Medals challenge meant that my total had come down a bit more. I divided the total stitch count by 4, and then I divided that by how many days there were left in the year. And it came out that I needed to stitch 310 stitches a day to get the first shelf done by the end of the year. And I thought, well, I think that's doable. It might mean that, like, for example, on work days, when I go back to work in September, that this is the only thing that I stitch on. But I think I'm willing to make that sacrifice. I really want to get this shelf done at the end of the year, and I love seeing how quickly the progress is there. So anyway, I'm going to put a picture up on the screen of the last time that you saw it. And the last time that you saw it, I was working on a different page. I have had a page finish since then. This is out of the nerd heap because I don't keep it in the nerd heap when I'm not working on it. So I can show you the whole thing now. This, I can't, it's so wide now, I can't. So this is where it's at the moment. So yeah, I finished off this page here during Stitch the Medals. And then I've been working on this page, and this is almost finished. I've just got one row of 10 by 10 squares left to do on that page, and then it is finished. So yeah, this is going to get harder and harder for me to show, like the whole width of it. Let me just stand up. is, can I get the whole width fit in the frame? Maybe if I go back here. Yes, I'm going to have to start standing up in videos so you can see. But yeah, so if I fold this in half, you can see like the back of the other side of the stitching. So this is how far I've got to go in order to finish the shelf. So yeah. When I put on Instagram that I'd upped my daily stitch count for this, I said, you know, wish me luck. And so many of you said, you know, you can do it. I know you can. Yeah. My first love is full coverage anyway. I do like lots of other styles of stitching, but there's just something about full coverage that calls to me. So it's just watching the picture come alive in such intricate detail. I think that must be it. But yeah. Right, let me pull my chair forward. Put this away. And put that on that pile. Okay, let's have another little drink. I think we'll do the giveaway for the Parasols project bag from Pauline at Sobe Bags. So you had to comment the keyword parasols on my last video in order to be entered for this. And so just before the video started, I pulled up the random comment picker. So there were 63 comments with the word parasols in. So I'm going to click on pick a winner. And it is Paula Stevens 6335. There you go. So Paula, if you could send me an email, I'm just going to take a screenshot of that. Send me an email. I will leave, my email is always in the description box, or you can send me a message on Instagram with with your address details, and I will get this sent off in the post to you. So there's that. I also, hold on, wanted to show you some sewing things that I've been making. So I've been going to a sewing group on a Tuesday evening. So it's at a shop near me in Tiptree called A Thread Above the Rest. So if you're local to Essex, you may know where Tiptree is. And the lovely Laura who owns that shop, she does lots and lots of different crafty classes all of the time, and she does these like I don't know what she calls them. Let me just see if I can find it in my email, because A Thread Above the Rest. Let me just see. A thread above the rest. What's it called? Yeah, it's just called the Tuesday evening sewing class. They do a couple of other slots during the week, and what I like about it is that you're not going and learning whatever the instructor has picked out for you to sew. You take whatever you want to sew, and she sort of circulates the room and helps you at any point with whatever you need, basically. And that is exactly what I was looking for, and I absolutely love going. So I've made a couple of project bags while I've been there. This is the first one that I made, and I've used netting. I do have some vinyl that I want to try out as well, but I use netting on the two that I made. So, and this is the back. I did quilt the back. The binding isn't the best, but it was my first one, so yeah. I think it looks okay, and I really love the material. I did have the Star Hunters in here, so now I've got to pick out a new project for this one. And then the second one that I've made, I've got my Chickadees in Spring project in, and it's this one here. So this is some pink netting, and I use this leaf material, and again quilted the back. And with this one, what I did was I made the back panel an inch or an inch and a half, I can't remember what it was, wider all around, so that I didn't have to make binding. I could just do the edges with that. And again, it's not perfect, but yeah, I think it looks fun. So I'm looking forward to making more of those, and trying out the vinyl, and also trying out a project bag that's got fabric on the front as well. So like the tutorial from like Elizabeth Ann Can Stitch and things like that. And then I made a couple of pouches. I had a clear pencil case that I had a lot of my stitchy stuff in, like at my spot. Like I had needles, pencils, a rubber, like lip balm, like that kind of stuff. So I wanted to make a pouch that looked a little bit nicer, because that was looking a little bit rubbish. So I made this pouch here. And what I will do is I will leave a link in the description box below. I bought a couple of patterns off of Etsy, one for this, the project bags, and one for these pouches. So the pattern for this one, it comes in 3 different sizes, and this was the smallest size. So it's a flat bottom pouch, and you've got the zip at the top. And I am keeping in here my all of my needles, basically. So that's that. And then I was keeping other things in here as well, but it wasn't quite wide enough to put things like my Apple pencil. So I thought I'm going to make another one. So I made the larger size. So this is the larger size. Again, flat bottom, zip at the top. I've got this stripy pink fabric that I had in here. And what did I put in here? This is like a blue diamond fabric. And I keep everything else that I use at my stitchy spot in here. So I've got like my Apple pen, I've got my pencils, my lip balm is in here now, my tape measures, a nail file, my little stitch count ruler that my friend bought me, and my little thread keep that she bought me as well. So I keep all of that in here, and then I put the little one inside the big one. And that is deeply satisfying. So yeah, I thought I'd show you that to you just because I'm super proud. Like, yeah, a few months ago, I never would have thought I could achieve those things, but it's just practice and confidence. So for example, one of the things that I was really worried about when I was making the project bags was sewing like on the zip. Like I had this real fear about like sewing on the zip and breaking my needle, and but I was like, well, yeah, you might break your needle, but you probably won't, and who cares if you break your needle? You can just put a new one in, like it's not a massive deal. So yeah. So yeah, I am hopefully going to make a case for my tablet. So I bought this pattern from, I'll just put a picture up on the screen here, from Etsy, and it's there's a bit more involved in the quilting of it and the construction of it, so that will that's going to take a bit more thought, but that will be good because, and in fact I haven't got this out of the cupboard, so I'm going to go and get it out of the cupboard now. So when I went to the Festival of Quilts with my friend Becky, there were obviously lots of companies selling lots of quilt patterns, and we walked past one particular stall called Janet Clare, and they had this quilt hanging up, and the fabric was what drew me to it. It's called Corsage, and she has an Etsy shop, and I'll link her Etsy shop down below. So she has kits of this on her Etsy shop, or you can just buy the pattern. And this particular fabric is Moda fabric that she designed herself. It's from her Blooming Lovely collection. And she has a couple of other quilts that she uses this fabric for. But this was the one that I really liked. So she didn't have the kits available on the day that we were at the show. And they weren't coming in until the next week. But I waited until they appeared on her Etsy shop. And then I ordered. So this is all of the fabric for the blanket, the quilt. It's just glorious. So the only other thing that I need is the backing fabric and then like some wadding. And I have put a deposit on the backing fabric, so I am hoping to buy that in the next few months. So I've got that as well. So yeah, I need to practice my quilting skills because I feel like I need to do a couple of things in between before I'm confident enough to kind of go with that. The other thing I would like to make for Christmas are some quilted table mats and a table runner in fabric that sort of matches our theme for Christmas, which is like a pink and silver theme. Because of course, you know, those of you that know me by now and my channel name, pink is me. So so yeah, I'm building up to things, and I've got a list of some other things that I would like to make, including we're going to Disneyland Paris again on Boxing Day, and it's a complete surprise for Bella. And so we were thinking, oh, we should get her like a couple of things to open on Christmas Day that are related to the trip, like a toy aeroplane, some sort of like Disney cuddly toy maybe. And then I was saying before, I'm going to make her like a ticket, so that you know, like if you're going to Disney and with her name on it and things like that. And then I thought maybe I'd make her a bag for the ticket to go in, and then she could take the bag and the ticket with her when she goes. So that's also a goal for sewing. If you've got any good ideas of patterns for that, then please let me know. And also, if you're a sewer and perhaps more in the UK and you know some good websites that to purchase fabric from, leave them in the comments as well. I know I've got a couple that I have sort of learned about over the past couple of months, but yeah, if you know any more, then let me know. Enable me. Or like, I don't know, like sewing accessories, like you know, like pretty zips and things like that. Okay, so the last thing that I'm going to talk to you about then is haul. So I'm just going to dig into this. I don't have loads and loads, and most of it is fabric, to be honest. This came yesterday from I got this from Facebook D-Stash. It's like a sister pattern to, what's the one that her name and her channel name has just gone totally out of my head. Fun with Cross Stitch, Sharon. Sharon is doing the sister pattern to this, and then I didn't realise this existed, and then I saw it somewhere. Can't remember where I saw it, and then somebody was de-stashing it the other day on Facebook, so I got it. It's I'll have the other one as well. It's Safari Sunset. So you've got the two big cats, and then all of these other safari animals in the background, like silhouetted. I think that is stunning. So yeah. The DMC list is quite extensive, but there we go. Yeah, so I got that. Making a pile over here. I got the next two patterns in the Fabulous Houses series. So number 8 was the lighthouse. I do like that. I like the whale. And I love the way that they've done the light. She's done the light with all of the patterning in the light. I think that's really pretty. And then the one after that was the floating house. And you got the little scene under here. And look at the dog on the decking. I love the way that the clouds have been done as well. So that's a really cool one too. I really need to start this series. I'm just digging into my thing. Couple of pieces of material that I got from Megan recently, and it was from a Fabric Super Sunday couple of months ago. So this is Megan from Coffee Craft Fabrics. One was this like gingerbready colour of 28 count even weave that I thought I would put the Christmas Queen on from Mirabilia. She's not called the Christmas Queen. I can't remember what she's called, but you know the one I'm talking about. So I'm going to see, like she's on like a gingerbready kind of colour. And I've seen other people stitch her on a similar colour to this. And then she also sent through this sort of like purple opalescent, light purple opalescent, which is really pretty as well. I'm not taking them out of the plastic. And then what other fabric have I got in here? I don't have much in here. The July fabric of the month by Fabrics by Crafty Kate is this one. So it's like purples and greens. So that's really nice. And then, oh, these are all with this. Let me just take these out of here. And then a few things that I thought I'd show you that I bought at the Festival of Quilts. One was a rechargeable neck light from this company called Native Lighting. And I was sort of looking for something that I could take away with me when we went to Centre Parks, because I wasn't sure what the lighting in the lodge was going to be like. And it turned out I didn't need this in the end because there were spotlights in the living area that shone directly onto my stitching, and that was enough lighting. But this will be good for other holidays that I go on and retreats. So I bought, they come in black and white. I bought the white one. You get the charging cable in here. I think that was the air freshener going off in the bathroom. And this is what it looks like. So I did have one of these from Amazon before, and it broke. So yeah, that went in the bin. So it's got these switches on the side here on both of the arms, and there are 3 different light modes on it. So it's sort of, if I switch it on, you've got like more yellowy light, and then it goes towards more white light, and then you switch it again, switch it off. These are fully flexible, much more sort of like solidly structured than the one I bought from Amazon. So yeah, and I picked up a leaflet while I was there, because if you order from their website before November the 30th, you can use this discount code, 15% discount code, quilt15. So if any of you are interested in that, yeah, but they've got a couple of, they had lots of different lighting options. This was one that she originally sort of was talking to me about. It clips onto the table, and this would be a great light for retreats. But I just didn't know whether I'd have something to clip it onto, like when I went to Centre Parks or just on holiday in general. So I thought the neck light would be much better for that. But this one would be a great one for retreats. And there was also a picture of a lady using this like for reading as well, like when she was on a plane. So yeah, I got that. So that will be something that I have in my cupboard for when I go away on holiday. Okay, put that over there. And then we saw Kate from Sparkly's. So I won tickets from her. She was the whole reason why I was there in the first place. And I would love to go back. One of the things that I'll probably do is maybe stay overnight the night before, and then go, and then maybe drive home and make it that sort of thing, because we got there about 11ish and then left maybe just before 5, and we didn't have time to get around everything. So yeah, I would definitely like to go back, maybe in a couple of years' time, and yeah, stay overnight or leave like extraordinarily early in the morning. Maybe stay overnight. So I bought a few things from Kate. I picked out a few patterns, and I thought I'm just going to buy fabric to go with it, because I don't often do that, and I should. Anyway, I bought this pattern here. I've never bought from this designer before. Is it Nemu? I don't know if that's the right way of saying it, but this is called Fairy Dust. And she had a model stitch up of this on her stand, and it looked so good. And so I picked a piece of fabric that was sort of similar to go with it. This is called Ocean Depths. and it's got this kind of like foresty, dappled trees kind of vibe to it, and I thought that would be really cool to go with that. Kate helped me pick them out. She was really helpful. So got that one. Then my friend had talked about this pattern while we were in the car on the way there. She said she picked it up when she went to the No Bam retreat. And she had Kate had a copy of it there. So this is, what's this called? Emerald Mermaid by Mirabilia. And she is lovely. Look at the way that they've charted all of those greens. But I don't like the fabric that she's on. So we were sort of picking out what should we do, because it has to stand out against the fabric. So we went with a piece of Aquarius. This is linen rather than the other one I got was even weave, just because the linen was a lot more pigmented is the wrong word, or is it? I don't know. The colour was deeper in the linen than it was in the even weave. So I went with the linen. I think that's going to look stunning on that. That's going to fall down in a minute. And the last one that I got that I'd been wanting for a while was Amethyst by Bella Filipina. And I just love this jewel. And look at her tail. All of the colours in this are lovely. So again, she helped me pick out a piece of Purple Berry Splodge. Purple Berry Splodge. Again, it's an even weave to go with her. So it's mostly purples, but it does have some pinks in it. Like the bottom here, you can see some pink coming in. I think she's going to look lovely on that. So yeah. I did buy a couple of other patterns that I haven't printed off from Etsy to participate in some stitch alongs, and I have some fabric ready for those. So let me just get up the names of them so I don't get them wrong. One of them is a pattern that I'm going to be stitching with Jenn from the Caffeinated Crafter and Ailarra from, is her channel name just Ailarra? I don't remember, but I will leave a link to both of their channels down below. Full coverage. So this, the one I'm stitching with them is called Cherry Blossom. So I put a picture up on the screen here of what it's going to look like when it's finished. It's by a shop on Etsy called Blue Fox Stitchery, and it's not that big. It's a it's 273 by 303, so you can fit it on a fat quarter. And of course I love Cherry Blossom and I love the colour palette in this, so I was immediately drawn to it. So I'm going to be starting that probably at the beginning of September. And then the other one that I got, is a Stitches So Beautiful pattern. Ebony from In Stitches with Ebony and Dawn from DM's Crafty Vortex posted on Instagram that they were doing a stitch along of An Enchanted Place. The artwork is by Ida Jose Rosa, I think that's how you say that, and it's charted by Stitches So Beautiful. So I put a picture up on the screen here. There's another stitch along going on for another one of his like landscape patterns that I really was tempted by as well, and I might start that at some point. But in August they were doing a like a artist spotlight on him, and you could purchase any of his patterns for 30% off. So if you're watching this on the 31st of August, then yeah, go along and see if you can pick something up. But yeah, I really liked the image in this and the sort of watercoloriness of it. And again, this fits on a fat quarter. It's 400 by 230, and I got the max colour version just because, you know, I'm insane. So I am going to be starting this tomorrow. So the stitch along starts tomorrow, but you can jump in at any time. Yeah, and I'm really looking forward to starting that. Again, I'm not in much of a starting mood, but I do want to start those two And then plans for September, work some more on my WIP hit list, get another block done on Fruits of Plenty, get another 2000 stitches done on Quick Stitch Tranquil Tulip. The Essex Needles retreat is coming up in the middle of September, so on Friday the 13th of September I'll be going off to that and taking my shop with me, so I'm really excited about that. My friend Becky is coming this time, so I'm looking forward to spending lots of time with her. Yeah, next year, in terms of retreats, I wanted to do something a little bit different. So I've signed up for the Mirabilia retreat in April. And then I wanted to do that one and then the Essex Needles one in September. However, my friend pointed out that Bella's going to be starting school in September, and that's quite, like, the retreat is quite quickly after she starts school. It's only a couple of weeks, and I didn't know how settled that she was going to be in September, so I thought maybe I'd give that a miss for next year. And instead I managed to get a place at the Chatelaine retreat, which is in October next year. I think it's up in Crewe, and I am super excited about that. Yeah, so I won't be going to, I'm hoping to go to the Essex Needles retreat as a shop next year, but I won't be going to the weekend. Yeah, so fingers crossed. I need to talk to Teresa and Elliot about that and whether that's okay. Shop wise, I do still have a 20% off end of summer sale up until tomorrow. So if you'd like to pick up any of my PDF or printed patterns for 20% off, then you can still do that up until midnight tomorrow. I am busy sorting out needle minders, so I'm going to be adding some needle minders to the shop over the next few weeks, and I'm also busy designing some things, like patterns of my own to put on there as well. So you should see a lot more happening shop wise over the next few weeks. If there are things in particular that you would like me to add to the shop, I would love to know that. I know it's not always easy to get hold of what you want, so yeah, if there are things that you'd like to see, and if I can do that, then I will. So leave me a comment down below, email me, message me on Instagram, any of those things. Just have a little drink. I think that's everything I wanted to talk about, cross stitch wise anyway. Yeah, life update. We've had a lovely summer. We spent a lovely week in Centre Parks. Bella enjoyed all of her activities. She really enjoyed spending time with her cousins. And I think the swimming pool was the thing that she liked the most. She was able to go on some of the slides, some of like the bigger adult slides this year. There were a couple that she couldn't get on, but she got on all of the ones that she was able to and absolutely loved them and just loved being in the pool. So yeah, we had a lovely week away then, and then we've done a few things since we've been back. So yesterday we went to Southend, and we went to their like amusement park called Adventure Island, and she went on lots of rides there and loved it. We got fish and chips and an ice cream. Yeah, it's changed a lot since the last time I went, but last time I went was maybe like 15 years ago. Yeah, it's changed a lot since then. But yeah, so that was really lovely. I had a lovely shopping trip with my mum last week, and we went to Lakeside and had a little girly day. That was really lovely. Also went to the cinema with her to see It Ends With Us, and I really enjoyed that. Like I said, I've been doing a little bit of reading this summer, so yeah, let me know if you want me to talk a little bit more about books, if you're interested in that. I know when I first started my channel, I talked about, I had like a feature at the end where I talked about a book that I'd read recently. If you're interested in knowing what I'm reading, then let me know and I will talk about that. Yeah, but I have really enjoyed getting back into my reading again. I had a big tidy up of my craft room, and I got a unit to go above my desk here to put my floss storage in, so I can finally get that up off of the floor. But it looks much better in here than it did for quite a while. And what I'm planning to do is to board the loft. So this room that I'm sitting in here is like an extension to the house. So they did the previous owners did a single story extension. So this wasn't here before. So this room does have some loft space above it. It's got a loft hatch over there. So my plan is when my stepdad gets back from holiday, him and my mum are going to Japan for a couple of weeks in September. When they get back from holiday, they're going to help us to board that loft space and put a loft ladder in. And then I'm planning on keeping, I think, my stock up there, and then perhaps my my knitting projects or crochet projects. And that was the other thing I was going to say. I'm planning on doing a video just talking about those projects, because I think that would be good just to keep those separate. I also want to do a video on my thread storage. I've got a few ideas, it's just having the time. When Bella goes back to preschool in September, she's going all day on a Monday. So Monday is going to be a day where I can do more filming than I have been able to. Yeah. So that's the plan. So I've got like a few videos that I want to do. I've got lots of things that I want to do to the shop. Yeah, lots of things coming up basically. I go back to work next Tuesday. So yeah, officially this is like the last day of the holiday basically. So yeah, we'll see how everything goes with going back to work. I also, since I got back from holiday, started working out every day. So I've been doing couch to 5k on the treadmill every other day, and then doing some sort of like a strengthening thing on the TV on the other mornings. When I go back to work, I'm going to have to switch that to the evenings, but I really like to keep going with that. I've got 3 weeks into couch to 5k, and it's an 8-week program, and I would love to finish that. I've started that program, maybe this is like my 4th or 5th time of starting it, and I've never got to the end, so I really would like to keep up with that. I feel like it's doing me some good, yeah, to do something basically. Oh dear, counteract all the sitting on my bum and stitching. As always, I love hearing from you guys. So if you've got any questions or comments, please leave them in the comment section down below. You can feel free to email me or message me on Instagram. The person who won the giveaway, what's her name? Paula, please message me on Instagram or email me with your address, and I'll get that sent out to you. And I think that's everything. So I will be back in a couple of weeks. I've got one Monday where I can film before my mum's away, and I have to switch my days for a couple of weeks. So where's September? So I'm hoping to film on Monday the 9th of September, and then film again on the 29th of September. I think that's what I'm going to be doing. Yeah, I think that's when I'm going to be back, on the 9th of September with some updates. So as always, I hope you have a good couple of stitchy weeks, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.